In 2010, a single feather from the extinct huia bird fetched a staggering $10,000 when sold at auction. The feather, which was traditionally used to adorn the headpieces of Maori chiefs, was sold to an unnamed family from Wellington who have a large collection of Maori artifacts. Designer to the ultra-rich, Stuart Hughes makes another appearance on our list, this time with the world's most expensive bed, the Baldacchino Supreme. This luxurious bed features a hand-carved chestnut wood structure with an ashwood canopy, decorated with 107 kilograms, which is around 235 pounds of 24-karat gold. All fabric is Italian silk and cotton, and the headboard is fully customized to fit precious stones of the buyer's choice. The cost to sleep soundly in this sort of ultra-luxury? $6.3 million. The Baldacchino Supreme recently took the #1 place for the world's most expensive bed from the magnetic floating bed. Priced at a meager $1.6 million, this amazing bed uses industrial strength magnets to allow it to permanently float around 40 centimeters, which is around 1.3 feet off the ground. If I had the dough, this is the one I'd be getting. How about you? Ultra luxurious Italian Baldacchino Supreme or magnetic floating bed? Let us know in the comments section below. Produced by extravagant gadget maker Stuart Hughes, the now out-of-date iPhone 4S Elite Gold is the world's most expensive phone. It boasts 500 flawless diamonds embedded in the rose gold bezel. Both the phone's casing and the Apple logo are made of 24-karat gold, with the logo containing another 53 diamonds. The navigation button is also gold with a single-cut 8.6-karat diamond inlay. The phone comes in a chest made of solid platinum, decorated with a polished Tyrannosaurus rex bone, sunstone, opal and rutile quartz. Only 2 4S Elite Gold mobile phones were ever made, making the total cost to own one a mind-blowing $8 million. Not sure about you, but if I was paying that much for a mobile phone, I'd want the latest model. When Californian-based marketing company QuinStreet purchased Insurance.com for $35.6 million back in 2010, they became the owners of the world's most expensive website. The website is an insurance comparison site that aggregates quotes from leading companies for car, motorcycle, home and life insurance. QuinStreet also owned popular domain names Insure.com and Internet.com, which they acquired in 2009 for $16 million and $18 million respectively. In 2012, the developer of a luxury condo building in New York City's Greenwich Village listed a parking space for $1 million. The spot, which measures 3.6 meters by 7 meters, is also 4.5 meters high, meaning the new owner could install an elevator to allow space to park 2 cars. If you were a cashed up billionaire, would you shell out $1 million for a parking space? Let us know down below. This 400 square foot private residence located in South Mumbai is a massive 27 stories tall. It boasts 21 elevators, 6 underground parking floors, 3 separate helicopter pads, and requires a staggering 600 strong staff just to maintain it. Antilia is owned by Mukesh Ambani, the chairman of Reliance Industries, an energy and materials company whose estimated net worth was calculated at $19.2 billion in 2015. The price to live in this amazing megastructure? $1 billion. The History Supreme is a 30-meter, which is around 98.4 foot long, ultra-luxurious yacht. Purchased for an insane $4.5 billion by an unnamed businessman, this boat boasts 100,000 kilograms, which is around 220,000 pounds of gold and platinum plating that covers more than half of the yacht's entire surface. If that's not lavish enough, the yacht also has a statue made from an actual Tyrannosaurus rex bone, a wall feature in the master bedroom made from a meteorite, and a huge aquarium fashioned from another 68 kilograms, which is 150 pounds of 24-karat gold. Bonus time! Hello, Ham Fam! Have you ever wanted to pitch an idea for an episode? Well, head on over to our Patreon campaign and pledge at a 5 level or higher, and you can start pitching ideas for top 10s. Each month we'll pick one lucky winner and turn their idea into a list. Plus we'll give you an amazing shout out at the end of the episode. If you're interested, head on over, check our campaign out. Links are in the description box below. Well, there's another list down. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head on over to our Patreon campaign for an amazing rewards list. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Pew!
Schlapham.
10 UFO sightings caught on camera. From a UFO caught on the BBC News to a flying object dropping glowing orbs down on Earth. Join us as we take a look at 10 UFO sightings caught on camera. On July 4th, 2016, a strange light was seen hovering in the night sky over Tucson, Arizona. You can see a large white orb that blinks on and off sporadically. At the 1:20 mark, a second object appears, then flashes brightly before disappearing. Many skeptics have noted that July 4th is a common night for firework displays, but do these look like ordinary fireworks? On the 2nd of August 2016, the Malcolm W. Martin Memorial Park Facebook page uploaded this clip. It's taken from a security camera overlooking the Mississippi River and Gateway Arch in St. Louis, USA. The footage shows a glowing ball hovering in the sky for around 5 minutes. It moves about the sky erratically, disappears, then reappears in different spots. One local tried explaining the footage as headlights from cars parking in the Mississippi River overlook. What do you think, headlights or visitors from outer space? In November 2015, numerous Californian residents saw some very strange lights in the night sky. People from Reno to Los Angeles spotted a blue light flaring across the horizon. Several different pieces of footage were uploaded, each capturing the same strange blue light. Dozens of calls flooded into 911 reporting the unidentified flying object. The following morning, the US Navy issued a statement that they had been testing a ballistic missile off the coast of California. It just seems awfully convenient for the Navy to issue a statement like that. Would they really fire missiles near a heavily populated coastline completely unannounced, terrifying hundreds of residents? Bit strange. There's very little info on this piece of footage. It's supposedly taken by a couple as they flew over Poland in a commercial airliner. What their camera captured is very unusual. It appears to be a massive floating object drifting by the aeroplane. If anyone has any information on this clip or can translate what the couple is saying, please leave a comment below. On January 8, 2005, a man captured what appears to be a fleet of UFOs hovering over an unknown part of Mexico. There are 40 to 50 glowing orbs floating in the sky. Many claim the sighting to be balloons or Chinese lanterns, but when the footage zooms in, it looks as though the objects are steering themselves around each other. This footage was taken in July 2016 during a flyover of the city of Melbourne, Australia. In the background there's a strange floating shape to the right side of the city. It's a thin structure hovering in mid-air. What do you think, hovering spacecraft or a glitch in the film? This startling footage was taken in an unknown part of the Philippines in 2014. At first it's difficult to tell what's happening as the footage only shows two glowing objects on a dark background, but you can see smaller orb-like objects falling to the ground. A night vision lens is used to clarify the image, and what it captures is very striking. It's clear that this UFO is dropping numerous balls of light down on the ground. Are there any plausible explanations for this footage? In October 2014, the BBC was reporting on pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong. What they inadvertently captured on film is startling. You can see above the sea of protesters between the two buildings, a flying object moves towards the right of camera. It pauses for a moment, then flies straight up at an accelerated rate. It's very hard to explain this footage as the BBC captured it live, making it impossible for anyone to tamper with or alter in any way. This piece of footage caused quite a stir amongst both the scientific and conspiracy theory communities. Taken on August 6, 1997, this hefty flying object was filmed flying over Mexico City. The community has divided almost in half on whether the footage is real or fake. Some say there are dubious digital artifacts hidden in the still frames of the clip. Others have noted that back in 1997 there were no programs available to the public powerful enough to fake this footage. Other perplexing evidence is the 12 or so witnesses from across the city that reported seeing the craft flying through the air. What do you think, real or fake? If you've got any information on this clip, leave a comment below. June 2016 in Menangle, New South Wales, Australia, up to 8 strange glowing objects were filmed flying through the sky. The footage shows these craft steadily moving to the left of screen. Then a darker, more solid looking object can be seen hovering in the sky. 2 of the glowing balls previously seen seem to fly into this hovering object. Bonus time! We're giving away 3 Slaptam t-shirts to some lucky viewers. To enter, all you have to do is follow us on Twitter and retweet this tweet. We're only running this competition for a few days, so get in quick. Remember, you must be following us and retweet the tweet to enter the draw. Hurry, do it now or you'll miss out on a chance to win a wicked Slaptam tee. A link is in the description box below. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a UFO coming down to probe our anuses. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you're enjoying the content, hit that thumbs up button. Remember to share this video around with your friends and family. And this is a Slaptam signing. From a woman mauled to death by a pet tiger to a man torn apart and eaten by lizards and spiders. Join us as we take a peep at 10 pets that have killed their owners. In 2006, a 52-year-old woman was mauled to death by a 500-pound Bengal tiger in Pine County, Minnesota. Authorities were called to the property after Cynthia Lee Gamble's body was discovered by a man who arrived at the property to perform a controlled burn. Gamble was a writer and editor of wildlife documentaries and had previously trained animals for films such as Vertical Limit, released in 2000. A veterinarian had to destroy the very agitated animal at the scene before authorities could gain access to Gamble's remains. In 2004, Al Abel was bitten and killed by his pet lion Simba on his Illinois farm he ran with his wife. The 52-year-old man was attacked while cleaning the large cat's enclosure after failing to secure the animal inside its holding pen. It was the first time Abel had attempted to clean the enclosure without the help of his wife Kathy, who was running errands at the time. Abel was not officially qualified to care for the animal as Kathy was the only one who held a license to keep big cats. Official reports concluded that Abel was in poor health and was suffering from forgetfulness prior to the incident. When the police arrived on the scene, they found the lion pacing aggressively and were unable to reach the suspected location of Mr. Abel. The lion was shot with an AK-47 and Abel's body was soon discovered shortly afterwards. In 2009, 37-year-old Kellyanne Waltz was mauled to death by a 350-pound pet black bear. Waltz was cleaning the interior of the bear's enclosure when it attacked. Her children witnessed the incident and summoned their neighbour Scott Costoni for help, who shot the bear while it was still on top of Waltz. Waltz's husband was licensed to keep the bear along with lions, tigers and other dangerous animals, but had let his permits lapse prior to the attack. In 2007, exotic pet owner Pam Weaver was crushed to death by her pet camel. Weaver's husband had bought the 330-pound present for his wife's 60th birthday. Camel expert Chris Hill told reports that the camel's behaviour was most likely sexual. He believed that the camel, who had previously exhibited strange behaviour by trying to mount the family's pet goat, was most likely trying to mate with Weaver and accidentally trampled her to death. In 2010, Corey Byrne became the first person in the United States to be killed by a boa constrictor, despite his family warning him of the dangers of owning such a pet. Byrne, who had the snake around his neck at the time, was showing it to his roommate's girlfriend when it strangled him to death. In 2013, 10-year-old Aidan Pankey was rushed to hospital after complaining of severe stomach pains. He died hours later from a bacterial infection commonly known as rat bite fever. Aidan's grandmother had recently given him a rat that he named Alex to provide companionship for a pet rat he'd already owned. The rat was purchased from pet store Petco and was in the possession of the boy for about 2 weeks before he became ill and passed away. In 2004, an unidentified woman died after being bitten by her pet pit viper. The 44-year-old woman drove herself to hospital after she received the bite, but died sometime after being administered. Police broke down her front door and, along with Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden specialists, began searching the house. Inside, they found at least 9 poisonous snakes still contained in their enclosures, along with several large lizards and 2 alligators free roaming around the house. In 2009, Sandra Herold's pet chimpanzee Travis mauled her friend Carla Nash, leaving her with horrific wounds. Travis went berserk after stealing Herold's keys and escaping the house, when Herold called her friend Nash to come over and help catch the chimp. Travis attacked Nash after seeing her hold one of his favourite toys, tearing off her nose, lips and both hands. Herold called the authorities, who initially thought it was a joke, until they heard her screaming, "He's eating her."
What's the problem?
Send the police!
What's the problem there?
The chimp killed my friend!
Is the monkey still by your friend, or can you get close to your friend?
He's eating her. Please, God, oh please.
Okay, I need you to calm down for me. I know it's hard, okay? I know it's hard.
The police arrived on the scene and shot Travis several times. He retreated to the house and was found dead a short time later. A toxicology report confirmed Herold's statement that she had given the chimp Xanax-laced tea prior to the attack. Xanax, which is commonly given to humans for anxiety and panic disorders, has occasionally been known to cause paradoxical symptoms of hallucinations, rage, and mania. Doctors were able to save Nash's life and managed to reattach her jaw, so while she didn't technically die, she was left permanently blind from the ordeal. This wasn't the first incident involving the chimp either. In 2003, Travis escaped from Herold's car and chased a man who threw something through the open window that hit the chimp. When police arrived, they managed to coax Travis back into the car after he chased and threatened several officers. In 2004, Mark Vogel was found dead in his apartment after neighbours alerted authorities of a bad smell coming from his apartment. The scene they discovered was described by authorities as a horror movie. Vogel's corpse was found draped over the sofa and covered in spiders' webs. He had spiders coming out of his nose and mouth, while his body had large chunks of flesh ripped off by lizards he also kept. The chunks of flesh were found in the webs of several tarantulas and bird-eating spiders nesting throughout the house. It was thought that Vogel's pet black widow spider Bettina had bitten and killed him after the heating systems on the spider's enclosures had malfunctioned, opening the lids and setting the creepy critters free to roam the apartment. In 2009, 2-year-old Cheyenne was found dead in her cot after her mother's pet albino Burmese python had escaped its tank and strangled her to death. Cheyenne was discovered in her cot with the snake tightly wrapped around her with its fangs embedded in her forehead. The 8-foot 6-inch snake had escaped its enclosure at least 5 times in the 4 weeks prior to the incident. Investigators said that the python had not been fed for over a month and was severely underweight. The snake's owner, Jaren Hare, and her partner Charles Darnell were sentenced to 12 years in prison after they were convicted of third-degree murder, manslaughter, and child neglect.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying our content, remember to hit that thumbs up button in appreciation. It really helps us out. Now, after this video goes live, I'll be sitting in the comment section below for 1 hour answering all your questions. Now, I have a question for you lot. What would you rather? Would you rather have a snake twist around and strangle you to death, sinking its fangs in your forehead? Or would you rather a family of spiders nesting in the skull and nose and ears of the corpse that you've left behind? Let us know in the comment section below and we'll chat about it. See ya! Pew!
Slap him.
5 monsters caught on tape. From a dragon filmed flying over England to a creature caught lurking in the depths of a sewer, we take a look at 5 monsters caught on tape. This footage, taken during the 2011 tsunami in Japan, appears to show some sort of mysterious white creature fleeing the rising waters. The beast seems to disappear into thin air as it scrambles to the roof of a nearby house. Sensing further danger, the monster then makes another dash for higher ground. This footage was taken in a Mexican town in 2015. After hearing strange noises coming from outside, the resident decides to take their camera to investigate. What they see lurking on the roof is truly terrifying. There's very little information available about this clip. It's apparently filmed somewhere in England and appears to show a dragon flying across the sky. What do you think, real dragon or elaborate hoax? Let us know in the comments section below. This remarkable footage from Brazil claims to show an alien being held by the local government. In the video, the soldiers are apparently asking the creature to speak. Both soldiers then make a hasty exit as one of them says, "Let's get out of here." This chilling footage was captured during a routine sewer inspection by a UK water company. What they catch a glimpse of is the stuff of nightmares. Here's a bonus one for you all. It's not a video as such, it's an image that went viral in 2014. Allegedly, it's a heat signature of a bizarre animal captured by a geologist working in a New Mexico oil field. Many claim this monster to be a skinwalker, a mythical creature from Native American legend that has the ability to shapeshift into any animal it chooses. Others believe it's a hoax, claiming it's a still from a little-known 1980s science fiction film. What do you think, hoax or proof that a skinwalker is prowling the oil fields of New Mexico? As always, thanks heaps for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the creepy content. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe because we have stuff like this coming out each and every week. And this is the Slapper shining.
How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. From haunted hospitals to eerie schools, we count the 10 most haunted places in the Philippines. And before we get into it, remember to hit that subscribe button for more creepy content just like this.
Fort Santiago was the butchering site of hundreds of soldiers and civilians during the Second World War. Intramuros was further devastated in 1945 as the Americans fought the Japanese, resulting in the deaths of thousands as the city burnt to ashes. Today there are sightings of ghost soldiers patrolling at night. Moreover, there were reported screams of persecutions and torture that echo throughout the city walls when darkness sets in. Fort Santiago was a defense fortress built by Miguel López de Legazpi, a Spanish conquistador. The fort forms part of Intramuros' city structures and was a holding place for the famous Filipino hero Jose Rizal. He was executed in 1896. His final footsteps from the cell to the execution grounds have been bronzed on the floor. Visitors report an eerie feeling as they follow these bronzed footsteps, with many saying they've felt his touch. Others have even passed out on the spot. Another World War II victim, the Diplomat Hotel, is now an eerie structure in Dominican Hill. Apparently it was the beheading site of priests and nuns during the war. People in the nearby area perpetually report hearing howls and screams at all times of the day. The Diplomat's former employees claim that there are headless ghosts that traverse the long dark hallways of the hotel, carrying their heads on plates. The Diplomat used to be a seminary and rest house before being converted to a hotel in 1911. It was the actual beheading of numerous members of the clergy in its grounds that is attributed to the sightings of headless apparitions by former guests and employees. The death of its owner in 1987, spiritual healer Tony Agpao, saw to the hotel closing shop. It remains off limits to both visitors and the public. Nevertheless, nearby villages still hear disturbing sounds emanating from Dominican Hill during the night. Dishes clattering, doors banging, and agonizing screams are pretty much a common occurrence. The Ozone Disco was once a hit club in Quezon City. In 1996, however, over 160 people lost their lives in this hotspot. The disco caught fire, and because of mass panicking, many didn't make it out. People near the former club's location still report hearing ghostly disco music at night, accompanied by faint apparitions dancing. The disco had its premises along Timog Avenue in Quezon City. It was opened by Sergio Agao in 1991. The premises previously housed a jazz club known as Birdland. On March 18, 1996, a fire broke out. At the time, Ozone had over 350 patrons and 40 employees in a space meant for just 35 occupants. Sadly, the majority of the patrons were college and high school attendants. It's reported that sparks started flying out of the DJ's booth, followed by smoke, which everyone considered to be part of the party act. After subduing the fire, bodies were found piled up waist high at the club's only exit. The fire exit, on the other hand, had been blocked by another building. It's also said that the disco's bouncers apparently locked the main exit from outside, fearing a riot. Today, the former club's burnt-out shell remains vacant and undisturbed, save for the perennial ghost sightings, voices, and strange music. The cool weather in Baguio City has made it the unofficial summer capital of the Philippines for a long time. As such, it wasn't a surprise when American teachers chose this city as a training site in the 1900s. Since then, the teachers' camp has been used as a training, retreat, or seminar center. Nevertheless, reports of ghost sightings are rampant in these grounds. Both visitors and caretakers say they hear a lady crying in the nearby cottages, or heavy footsteps in the hallways. Other common reports are that of a headless priest and a white lady walking around the grounds. Some guests have even reported being woken up at exactly 3 AM by a white lady oozing blood. This was an American settlement that faced some major bombing in World War II by the Japanese. One of these was an air raid on Christmas Day of 1941, when American soldiers were partying inside the home plate canteen. Apparently, the partying souls have not missed a beat or are unaware of their demise. Early morning joggers often report hearing excited talk and music inside the grounds, even though they're evidently empty. The abandoned Clark Air Base Hospital is another site for paranormal activity. In addition to hearing mysterious voices and seeing apparitions, violent spirits started terrorizing the grounds, which led to the area being rendered off-limits to everyone. At the Clark Museum, sightings of a ghost of a serviceman that hung himself in the premises still haunt the property. Needless to say, Clark Air Base has had a long, turbulent and bloody history. This airbase was also the evacuation site for American soldiers during the Vietnam War. Death and trauma resulting from the conflict has also been attributed to the presence of spirits in the hospital. The now ruined Clark Base Hospital is a hub for ghostly activity. Swing sets moving back and forth inexplicably, voices in empty buildings, dancing orbs of light, apparitions that bear battle scars floating around, and other occurrences have been reported countless times. Visitors have even had objects thrown at them from nowhere. Several TV crews have attempted to investigate the authenticity of these claims. Most of them were so badly frightened that they didn't stick around to complete production. It seems World War II still has lingering effects in the Philippines in the form of terrifying hauntings. The Los Banos campus certainly has its fair share. Not only did the campus witness the war, but it's also located at the foot of a spooky mountain, Mount Makiling. There are reported sightings of the Capre, a Filipino mythical creature. These creatures are said to be tall, hairy and muscular, and often attract attention due to their peculiar smell. Ancient stories claim that these beasts can be vengeful and violent if their habitat is threatened, often clubbing intruders to death. It's also said that they are mischievous creatures that play tricks on people. Students often report that the university's bridges always seem longer to cross during the nighttime, leaving some to believe they're being stalked by the Capre. Additionally, the campus is close to Baker Hill, an infamous Japanese war camp. It's said that ghosts of former prisoners linger in the area, unaware of their demise. Students often say they've seen soldiers walking around the grounds of the university. They look shell-shocked and confused, wandering around aimlessly. When approached by staff or students, they seem to stare right through them before turning into a strange mist and disappearing altogether. People who have had these experiences report overwhelming depression and anxiety in the subsequent days. It's as though the fear and sadness of the soldiers has transferred into them. To this day, no one has been able to explain these mysterious events. San Jose is the capital town in the province of Antique on Panay Island. Locals believe the area is haunted by ghost pirates. They say the pirates lurk in the shadows near the docks. It's thought that these ghost pirates will fiercely defend their territory, guarding their hoards of treasure from years gone by. San Jose also has churches that were built on top of burial grounds by the Spanish. Many people report these churches to be among the most haunted places in the Philippines. Some say the area is tormented by a mythical creature known as a whack-whack, the supposed bird form of a vampire or witch. These wild creatures are known to tear the flesh from animals and humans and gorge on the spilled blood. Graves in the local cemetery are often adorned with garlic and surrounded by lines of salt in an effort to repel these evil creatures. Ballet Drive is famous for sightings of a ghost white lady, in addition to numerous haunted houses which were constructed during the 19th century. This area is abundant with ballet trees, which are said to be a favourite resting grounds for lost and wandering spirits. It's said that they sit in ballet trees waiting to prey on their next victim. It's believed that the ghost white lady was a woman who was accosted and raped by Japanese soldiers during World War II. Her corpse was reportedly not even buried. It was thrown into a ditch by the road where it remained for several years. Bit by bit, the body was picked apart by rats, birds, insects and other creatures. It's claimed that part of her hair and bones are buried in underground rats' holes or perched in branches as part of birds' nests. Her face is said to have been taken by the man who killed her as a personal souvenir. It's believed that her spirit still searches for the man and his descendants to exact her revenge. Those who have witnessed her ghost advise motorists to avoid Ballet Drive at all costs, particularly if you're alone. If you have to use the route, ensure your backseat is full and that no one looks behind them or into their mirrors. If you take a taxi cab along this route, you'll notice the driver's edginess when you come near the spot. If either of you notices her, you're in for a violent death. You can only mitigate this disastrous outcome by fasting and reciting the Holy Rosary for the next 3 days. Only then will you be spared. Those who have seen the White Lady's ghost and lived to tell the tale report of seeing an apparition wearing a long white and blood-stained gown. It is tattered and ripped, and she is sporting long dishevelled hair. Her face is indistinguishable and covered with dripping blood. The modern tale of her story purports that she faced a gruesome death by the hands of a taxi driver. Coincidentally, almost anyone that reports of her sighting is either a sole driver or a motorcyclist. The San Juan area is home to strange stories. One of these tales is about the Pasatsat, ghosts from the Second World War. Because graveyards and coffins were too pricey for the natives, they instead wrapped their dead in reed mats. Apparently, if someone becomes haunted by a Pasatsat, they need to find their grave and stab their reed coffin to lay the angry spirit to rest. Pasatsat means to stab. That's not all, there is a devil man in San Juan whose MO is to ask for cigars. Those that have encountered the devil man report that instead of a face, he has extreme darkness in its place and usually dons a wide-brimmed hat. Give him a cigarette and you'll be okay. He also has a penchant for native cigarettes. San Juan also has a headless nun that was reportedly beheaded by the Spanish. If you see her and she touches you on your left shoulder, you'll either go mad or die instantly. Before we get to the #1 spot and find out where the most haunted place in the Philippines is, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on channel notifications. That way you'll be up to date with all our latest creepy content. Among the most haunted places in the Philippines, the Manila Film Center has to take first place. It's said that the spirits of those died constructing the center still roam around the area looking for live bodies to inhabit. The bizarre stories behind the Manila Film Center began in the 1980s during its construction. Apparently, the construction was rushed in a bid to meet the date of a certain festival. This led to the ceiling scaffolding collapsing and sending the men working on it plummeting down to their deaths. Instead of retrieving the bodies or rescuing the survivors, the First Lady, Imelda Marcos, who was the project's chief financier, ordered that cement be poured where the men had landed, entombing them forever. Since then, there have been strange happenings all around the facility. Even though the film center is still operational, it's marred by controversy and paranormal activities. People often report things moving on their own, loud banging and strange whispering. Some have said they've heard crying coming from the toilets, but when they go to investigate, there's no one there.
Well, there's some more awesome creepy content for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying it, hit that upward facing thumb. Leave us a comment down below which one of these stories you thought was the creepiest. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Pew!
Slap
5 pieces of shocking ghost footage caught on security camera. Have these security cameras captured proof of ghosts? From a strange blue spirit floating around a gas station to a terrifying poltergeist attack. Join us as we take a look at 5 pieces of shocking ghost footage caught on security camera. In 2007, a security camera at a gas station in Palmer, Ohio captured something very unusual floating around the petrol pumps. Both workers and patrons are stunned at the footage, unable to explain whether this is a ghost caught on camera or not. Here's some footage taken by a security camera in a Japanese car park. It shows several cars driving past when a mysterious ghost figure appears out of nowhere, then vanishes just as quickly as it materialized. This security camera in a Blockbuster video store in Mexico has captured something very eerie. At night, employees often report that an unknown force has blown air on their necks or pushed them in the back. This footage shows one such employee experiencing some kind of paranormal activity. There there are very few details about this CCTV footage supposedly filmed at some kind of IT park. It shows a man walking down a hallway, but what happens after that is absolutely chilling. This security camera captures a hooded man walking down a hallway, but what happens next is the stuff of nightmares. It would appear some kind of spirit or demon appears out of nowhere and pushes the man to the ground, then drags him down the hallway. The entity then vanishes as the man runs for his life. Well, hey, remember to check under your bed for demons, because that's where they like to lurk. As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you really want to help us out, hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get this video to 1,500 likes. And this is the Slap Arm signing off.
How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Cryptids are animals or creatures whose existence are unsubstantiated by modern scientific classifications. Yet all around the world people seem to be encountering weird creatures that almost defy explanation. Are they mistaken, or are there really monsters in this world that we simply don't know about? So join us as we take a look at 10 creepy cryptid sightings caught on film. And before we get into it, remember to hit that subscribe button for more awesome creepy content just like this.
In late 2016, a strange cryptid creature was spotted swimming through the freezing waters of the Chena River, Alaska. In October of that year, Bureau of Land Management employee Craig McCarr spotted a long, icy creature swimming through murky river water. He grabbed a quick video to prove his sighting, and soon the internet was debating whether Nessie from Loch Ness in Scotland had taken a vacation to North America. In the footage, you can see what looks like a 15-foot long creature undulating through the water. It appears to have icicles stuck on its back from the freezing conditions. McCarr spoke to a local newspaper and said, "I initially thought, and several people thought, it could be some rope that snagged on the bottom of the river with chunks of ice. Other people have mentioned everything from sea monster to giant sturgeon." Several experts agree with the rope theory, suggesting it's formed icicles which are helping it stay afloat, giving the appearance that it's swimming. Whatever the video has captured, no one has been able to definitively prove what's lurking in the water, leaving many to believe that this is genuine evidence of a cryptid that is yet to be classified by modern science. Sticking with strange swimming creatures, in mid-2016, striking footage emerged that seems to show a giant monster swimming through the murky waters of the Thames in London, England. A tourist was taking a ride on a cable car that gives scenic views over Greenwich when they spotted something unusual swimming in the water. Just opposite the famous O2 Arena, a gigantic object can be seen surfacing for a brief moment before diving back underwater. It appears to have several fins running the length of its back with a long neck. A dark shadow in the water hints at the actual size of the beast, but sadly only a glimpse can be seen. Some think the creature could be a Basilosaurus, an enormous marine animal that existed some 35 to 40 million years ago, that has somehow managed to survive deep underwater. Others are, of course, calling the footage fake, claiming the beast has been digitally added. Could a giant prehistoric animal really survive undetected for all these years and now be living in the River Thames? This found footage style video was posted to a YouTube channel called Slender Truth in 2013. It claims to show a group of boys who were stalked and attacked by a Wendigo. In the footage, we see 3 young boys exploring an abandoned house in an unknown rural setting. They search an old shack that looks like it hasn't been used in years. It's falling to bits, full of rotting floorboards and discarded building materials. When they reach the top floor, an uneasiness begins to build, as though the boys are being watched by something. Finally, as they descend the staircase, some kind of monster seems to peer its head into the house. It has long, slender fingers and a large, grotesque face with deep eyes and a bat-like snout. The footage cuts abruptly, suggesting that this creature attacked the boys. The description of the video claims that this animal is a Wendigo, a beast from Native American folklore that is known to be evil with an insatiable bloodlust. The clip has racked up over 11 million views, with a lot of viewers simply assuming it's a work of fiction. However, some claim that it's genuine and that these boys have been registered as missing since 2013. Whether that's true or not remains unclear. This is a curious little clip that apparently shows a real unicorn grazing in a field in England. Unfortunately, it's not known where this footage was taken and details are scarce at best. In the distance, you can see what looks like two horses grazing in a field of grass, one brown and one white. However, it becomes obvious that the white horse-like creature has a single horn protruding from its head. For centuries, man has been describing a mythical beast with a single large horn. The ancient Greeks wrote about a legendary animal that could only be tamed by a virgin. Their horns were said to have healing properties and could turn poison into drinkable water. Unicorns are also referenced in the Bible as remes, mystical creatures featuring one spiraled horn. It's written that King David rode a unicorn to heaven to avoid the threat of a lion. Unicorn enthusiasts all around the world are rejoicing, claiming that this is the first hard evidence that their favourite piece of legend is actually real. Could this really be a glimpse of the fabled unicorn? On the 23rd of July 2011, two boys heard some strange noises on their property and decided to investigate. They took some footage on their phones and this is their encounter. As they search through the darkness of their rural farm, they can hear some eerie noises in the distance. You can hear it. They can only see a few feet in front of them with a dimly lit torch. Eventually, they find a barn with graffiti scrawled across the walls. Something inside lets out a guttural squeal similar to a wild boar. It's a chilling groan enough to make your blood run cold. The two boys hide for a few seconds, switching off their torches. You can hear something scratching about behind the wall. For some crazy reason, the boys decide to take a look. Inside the barn, they spot a humanoid creature lurking in the loft. It has a strange pale face with small eyes and a wide nose and bald head. It shrieks at them as they frantically run into the darkness of the night. What could this cryptid creature be? Some are calling it a demon, while others are saying it's an alien hybrid that's taken refuge in the abandoned barn. Could this be some kind of animal that somehow evaded human contact until now? Several years ago, a bizarre event was captured on film in southern Vermont in the United States, several miles north of Green Mountain National Forest. It's a fairly remote area where several locals reported sightings of a strange creature with long limbs. Residents were finding livestock dead in their backyards with puncture wounds on their necks. Chickens and other animals were also vanishing without a trace. Eventually, this footage surfaced when two kids said they had an encounter with an alien in a local park. They claimed they were heading home from a party when they heard some strange noises. They took out their phones and this is the footage they captured. From behind a tree, a bizarre long-limbed creature begins to walk across the grass. It has a bulbous black head and slim body. The figure's hind legs look like that of a human, but most strikingly it uses two front arms to stalk eerily through the park. Initially, the footage was met with skepticism, but the boys are adamant that the footage is genuine and hasn't been tampered with in any way. This clip, coupled with the reports of dead livestock, sure do make for a chilling conclusion. Could an alien creature really be living in the hills of southern Vermont? In April 2018, a giant creature was photographed stalking the streets of Santa Fe, Argentina. The mysterious cryptid had been on a killing spree after it allegedly mauled two dogs to death. It's thought that a local resident took this photo after they heard a disturbance down an alleyway. The animal looks too tall to be a dog. Its gaunt frame sits atop four long, thin legs, with its hind legs looking to be a little meatier than the front two. The beast appears to be hairless, with hooves and a dog-like face. It was reported that this creature had killed a pit bull and German shepherd in a violent rage. When the image did the inevitable social media rounds, many were quick to call this creature a chupacabra, a mythical creature from South American folklore that is said to suck the blood from livestock. Others said it was a werewolf or a human-demon hybrid, warning locals to be very careful. Could a bloodthirsty cryptid creature really be roaming the streets of Santa Fe? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. In Carbondale, Pennsylvania, locals have reported sightings of a strange creature lurking in the woods. They say it's a white Bigfoot, 6 to 7 feet tall with shaggy fur covering its entire body. Residents often hear strange noises too, low groans and rustling in trees. In 2008, this video surfaced and quickly went viral. It was filmed by a man who heard noises coming from his yard that backs onto woodland. In the clip, you can see a very strange looking creature. It pauses for a split second, then darts off into the darkness. It has deep black eyes, a long cone-shaped head, and is covered in white fur. Analysts have noted that this would be very difficult to fake. The figure is unusually tall and has gigantic proportions. It moves quickly despite its large frame, and the face contorts and reacts, which couldn't happen if it was simply a mask. It's worth noting that Carbondale is the site for the first underground mine in the US. It's a vast network of deep, dark tunnels. Many believe it's possible that this creature lives deep in the mines and only surfaces to go hunting. The rake is a terrifying creature that began getting media attention in a flurry of news reports in 2003. Dozens of news outlets broke stories about a beast of unknown origin with long limbs, sharp claws, and a propensity for unprovoked violence. In this video, taken in an undisclosed location in England, a young man is walking through a playground at night testing the infrared feature on his new camera. As he walks along, he spots a mysterious figure sitting on top of the playground slide. The creature turns, startled, eyes lit up. Whatever it is leaps from the top of the structure into darkness. Suddenly the swings behind the man rattle and the footage turns to black. Could this be the infamous monster from urban folklore? The rake has become so popular in recent years that it spawned creepypasta stories, fan-made videos, and even feature-length films. Many think the creature's origins are simply a work of fiction and always have been, but it's sightings like this that seem to give credence to the thought that this terrifying creature may actually exist in real life. Before we get to that number one spot and take a look at some unsettling footage of a humanoid creature on a farm in Eastern Europe, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on channel notifications. That way you'll be fully up to date with all our latest creepy content. This is some unsettling footage purported to be filmed in a remote Romanian zoo. In 2014, it's thought that a backpacker who was travelling through rural Romania found out about a secretive farm that is run by illegal traffickers. The heavily guarded property allegedly houses exhibits that the general public don't know about or don't want to know about. Somehow, the backpacker managed to smuggle a camcorder onto the property to film one of the exhibits. The footage begins with the backpacker explaining that the zoo is housing some sort of deformed animal caged up in one of the sheds. Things go black as he makes his way through a crowd of people. They're all gathered around a cell sealed off with thick steel bars. You can hear the crowd ogling at something. Finally, a gap appears between the two people and we get a glimpse of some kind of humanoid creature. It moans wildly as it stumbles forward. Someone yells, the crowd heaves backward in horror as the creature is fully revealed. It looks to be a deformed monster, disfigured and kept against its will. The footage cuts to black and we're left wondering what we've just witnessed. No one has been able to explain this footage. A lot of people hope the video is fake, but there's a realness to it that makes for a really unsettling experience. Are there really underground zoos in Eastern Europe that house unfathomable creatures like this? Love to hear your opinion in the comments section below.
Well, there's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, slap that upward facing thumb, or leave us a comment down below. We love reading them. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Pew! How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're talking about weird cases of time travelling. From a time traveller who passes a lie detector test to a man from the future who earned a fortune on the stock market. Join us as we take a look at 10 real cases of time travel that can't be explained.
In February 2018, a man who claimed to be a time traveller underwent a lie detector test on camera. The man, only known as Noah, said he was from the year 2030 and made several predictions for the near future. Among them, he said that Donald Trump would be re-elected for a second term of presidency. In 2028, time travel will be invented and the first humans will visit Mars. He also claimed that Bitcoin will be used as a currency, but that cash money also still exists. Noah also claims to have some sort of futuristic technology implanted in his wrist that is somehow involved in the time travel process. An X-ray confirms that there is in fact some sort of device embedded under the skin, but he refuses to have it surgically removed. Several days after the lie detector test, Noah was reported to mysteriously vanish during a live stream. It was then revealed that he contacted the channel via email, stating that he was briefly taken back to the year 2030 for interrogation, but is now back in our time. In 1932, journalist J. Bernard Hutton, along with photographer Joachim Brandt, was sent to do a story on the Hamburg shipyard for a German newspaper. The pair claimed that shortly after they arrived at the shipyard, bombs started raining down from the sky and they had to scramble to safety. When they emerged, they took several photographs of the devastation before returning to Hamburg. When the pair told their story, no one believed them, as there had not been a bombing of any sort. Determined to prove that they were not crazy, they developed the photographs they had taken. To their shock, the photographs showed no signs of an air raid whatsoever. 11 years later, Hutton was living in London when he opened a newspaper and read that an air raid had taken place on the Hamburg shipping yard. The bombing was part of the Allied attack codenamed Operation Gomorrah. To his amazement, the photographs in the newspaper looked just like the ones he thought he and Brandt had taken years earlier. Did the pair slip through some sort of time rip? Had they actually witnessed an event that was yet to occur? In 2016, a mysterious photograph surfaced on Icelandic social media. It showed downtown Reykjavik in 1943 at the height of World War II. In the foreground, a group of American GIs can be seen standing outside a taxi station, as well as a man leaning against a window who appears to be talking on a mobile phone long before they even existed. Originally posted to a Facebook group by Christian Hoffman, it quickly began to attract attention across the internet. The photo was so convincing that many people said it was irrefutable proof that time travel must exist, while others thought that it showed that the mobile phone must have already been invented and in use in Iceland by the 1940s. What do you think? Is this man from the 1940s really using a cell phone? There's been several recorded instances of people seemingly using technology that shouldn't exist at the time. Many believe it to be evidence of time travel. This footage of a woman exiting a DuPont factory was taken in 1928. If you look closely, it appears that she's talking on a mobile phone. This footage was taken from the opening of a Charlie Chaplin film in 1928. As the camera pans in, a lady can be seen walking past chatting on another mobile phone. What do you think? Does this footage really prove that time travel exists? This now famous black and white photo was taken on the day South Fork Bridge reopened in Canada in the early 1940s. Take a look at the man in the middle right of this image. He's wearing a pair of modern sunglasses, a hooded jumper and a logo printed t-shirt. If this is a real time traveller, why has he travelled to the 1940s to witness a bridge reopening in Canada? Now I know some of you are thinking that you've seen this photo a million times before, but wait till the #1 spot where we'll reveal an extra piece of shocking information. This photo was taken after Brazil's triumph over Czechoslovakia in the final of the 1962 FIFA World Cup. The man holding the trophy is Brazilian player Garrincha, who was voted player of the tournament. If you look directly below him, there's a man who appears to be taking a photo of Garrincha using a mobile phone. Could this be evidence of a time traveller who's travelled back in time to witness this historical sporting occasion? In 1901, Anne Mobley and Eleanor Jourdain, two professors from St Hugh's College in Oxford, England, travelled to France to visit the Palace of Versailles. As they were walking around a small chateau within the grounds known as Petit Trianon, the pair claimed that something very strange happened. They said they were suddenly surrounded by people dressed in 1780s period attire, and that Marie Antoinette herself was sitting on a stool in the gardens. Seemingly impossible, as Antoinette, the last Queen of France, was found guilty of high treason and beheaded by guillotine in 1793. The pair then claimed that everyone mysteriously disappeared just as a tour guide approached them. In 1911, the two professors wrote a book titled An Adventure, under the aliases of Elizabeth Morrison and Francis Lamont, that described in detail their bizarre experience. Because of the credibility of the authors and the grounded accounts of which they told their story, it is widely regarded as one of the best pieces of evidence that time slips may actually exist. Did Moberly and Jourdain experience a time slip, or was it some sort of strange hallucination? Let us know what you think could have happened in the comments section below. In 2008, archaeologists opened a sealed tomb in Guangxi, China that supposedly hadn't been disturbed for more than 400 years. Inside the coffin, they discovered a small wristwatch with the time frozen at 10:06. On the back, the word Swiss was engraved. The first wristwatch, however, was not made until the 1800s, which makes the discovery in Guangxi so baffling. Was the watch left behind by a clumsy time traveller, or could it just be an elaborate hoax? In a video published in February 2018, a man by the name of Alexander Smith claims to be a time traveller that's visited the year 2118. In the video, he says that he's actually one of the first people to ever use time travel technology as part of a top-secret CIA mission in 1981. He goes on to say that a group of unnamed people were looking for him and that he was living in hiding. Among other things, Smith claims that by the mid-21st century it's become widely known to the public that intelligent alien life exists. He goes on to say that they've been visiting Earth for a long time and that the government has been keeping it a secret. He also says that while walking around in the year 2118, he came across a statue of a man named Janu Oliver Beck, who he later found out would become President of the United States and is somehow assassinated. At the end of the interview, Smith reaches into his jacket and produces a photo of a city he claims he took while visiting the year 2118. He then mentions that the reason the image is slightly distorted is due to the time travel process. In 2003, a newspaper reported that a man by the name of Andrew Carlson had been arrested on insider trading charges. According to a report by the Security and Exchange Commission, Carlson had turned an initial investment of just $800 into a portfolio worth around $350 million while trading the stock market. All the trades he made were high risk and based on information that he couldn't have known unless he had inside information or was from the future. Carlson was interrogated by the FBI and confessed that he was actually a time traveller from the year 2256. He claimed that his plan was to make several small trades here and there that would go unnoticed, but that he got caught up in the excitement of the situation and ended up making a fortune. The more the FBI pressed him, the more Carlson insisted that he was actually from the future. In an effort to prove his story, Carlson is said to have even told the FBI where Osama bin Laden was hiding, as well as giving them the cure for AIDS. However, the story gets even stranger. In an effort to further prove himself, Carlson offered this photo as proof that he was actually a time traveller. He claimed that he was also witness to the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Canada in the early 1940s, alongside the mysterious man dressed in modern-day clothes. Carlson pleaded with the authorities to release him so he could return to the year 2256. However, he refused to give up the location of his timecraft for fear of the technology falling into the wrong hands. Shortly after his arrest, a mysterious man posted his bail of $1 million. He was due to appear in court in April of 2003 but disappeared on the way to the hearing. There was no record of an Andrew Carlson existing prior to December 2002, and he was never seen or heard from ever again.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching and travelling into the future with us. If you're enjoying our content, hit that upward facing thumb, subscribe if you're new, or leave us a comment down below. We love reading them all. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Pew! From a cursed 1930s Disney cartoon to a Japanese commercial that allegedly killed an entire film crew. Join us as we take a terrified look at 5 cursed YouTube videos.
This video is a collage of disturbing imagery coupled with an unnerving soundtrack. It's been uploaded many times over different YouTube channels. It's said to house the spirit of a young girl named Sarah Black. Supposedly born in Ireland, Black was an occultist that could communicate with other worlds. She died after a ritual went horribly wrong. Her spirit is said to have imparted into this video. It is said that anyone who presses play is doomed and will die a slow and painful death, and it all starts with a simple headache. So this urban legend began as a creepypasta called suicidemouse.avi. Many thought the cursed video didn't exist until it surfaced on YouTube in 2012. The episode shows Mickey walking down a city street looped over. It has a really unsettling soundtrack. It's an out-of-tune piano played in an awful way that gives off a sense of dread, like something bad is about to happen. Poor Mickey walks the streets with a solemn look on his face, far from his usual cheery self. Progressively, the visuals become more and more erratic. The film begins to look like it's burning in the projector. Soon a woman's screams can be heard. As the screaming gets louder, Mickey seems to revel in the chaos as a smile cracks on his face. Eventually, a Russian phrase is displayed on screen that roughly translates as, "The sights of hell bring its viewers back in." The story goes that this is a long-lost episode of Mickey Mouse from the 1930s. When it was first discovered, an editor was assigned to review the footage. They say after watching it just once, it became so maddening for the man that he ran out of the studio yelling, "Real suffering is not known." He assaulted a nearby security guard, grabbed his gun, and shot himself in the face. Since then, viewers have reported feelings of dread and anxiety. Some say they've had panic attacks soon after watching the video. Others claim they've had suicidal thoughts. This extremely disturbing video has been floating around the depths of the internet for a few years. It is said that a deranged woman created the video. Anyone who broke her heart would be tortured. She would keep her victims captive, documenting their descent into madness. Each murder added one by one to this video compilation. It is said that ruthless experiments were carried out on her victims, the poor souls left in agony for weeks before dying. This Japanese Kleenex commercial is said to be cursed. It shows a young woman sitting on straw next to a baby dressed as a Japanese ogre. The ominous song "It's a Fine Day" by Jane and Barton plays in the background.
It's a fine day, people open windows, they leave their houses just for a short while.
Allegedly, the film crew who made this commercial all died in strange circumstances. Sure, the ad is off-putting, but nothing extreme. However, things go a little strange when you watch the commercial at exactly midnight. People say it becomes distorted and crashes the YouTube player. YouTuber Shrouded Hand claims that an anonymous viewer sent him this recording. Firstly, the viewer watches the video prior to midnight and all is normal. Then they wait till exactly midnight and hit play. The commercial plays as normal for a few seconds before some kind of interference seems to set in. The audio slows down and visual glitches flicker on the screen. A set of eerie black eyes are shown before the player crashes altogether. Shrouded Hand has said that when they first received the file, all power was cut to the house as soon as they finished watching the video. Even the laptop, which would normally turn to battery power, turned off. What do you think? Is this video really cursed, or is it just a series of well set up hoaxes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Allegedly, this video titled WPKEPKW inexplicably disappears from YouTube's search results. Sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't. Word is spread around the internet that the video is cursed. Some say it's of a person right before they die. Others say it's a government mind control video gone horribly wrong. The video shows what appears to be a blurred out face. Some distorted sounds vibrate throughout, giving the viewer a sense of unease. People who watch it say they experience mood swings, anxiety and depression. Some even claim they've become suicidal after watching the video. Viewers have reported that the video stays with them. Images of the video flash up on their computers and phones while browsing the internet. One such experience was documented by a YouTube channel called IE Wire. It began when a friend told them about the supposed cursed YouTube video. After watching it, they experienced some side effects. The image kept appearing on their computer. As they became increasingly frightened, the image would flash on screen. They became so shaken with anxiety that they were forced to delete all traces of the video and never searched for it ever again.
Well, that's it for another episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, remember to hit that thumbs up button. Also, remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram @SlappedHam for daily snippets of ham. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Poo! How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're talking about alien sightings. From scientists conducting experiments on alien greys to an extraterrestrial spotted in Australian grasslands. We count 10 real alien sightings that are caught on camera.
This is allegedly some footage released from WikiLeaks. It claims to be an interview with a grey alien from the Roswell, New Mexico crash in 1947. Shot inside Area 51, scientists are conducting a series of tests on the extraterrestrial being. They're testing its reflexes, cognitive ability, as well as viral susceptibility within our atmosphere. Real or fake, it's an amazing piece of footage that has sparked considerable discussion around the internet. After this husband and wife complained about a suspected peeping Tom in their yard, it was suggested that they set up a camera by the window. Then, one night after noticing 2 flashing lights, the husband glanced out the window. What he sees will give you chills. If you look closely, you can see some kind of creature look through the window. It bobs up and down several times before giving this guy the fright of his life. This now famous footage first appeared in 1997. A very secretive man, known only as Victor, claims to have obtained this video from the US government. He says it was filmed in a section of Area 51 known as S4. He claims that the alien is seated behind a glass wall in a decontaminated, temperature-controlled room. Allegedly, there is a telepath trying to communicate with the extraterrestrial being. However, the creature becomes distressed and medical staff are forced to intervene. Many experts have tried to debunk this footage but often fall short of any definite conclusions. It is widely considered some of the most convincing evidence of the existence of alien life. Shot in 2005, the owner of this video initially didn't notice anything strange while filming in the cemetery. However, when they reviewed the footage nearly 6 years later, they noticed something chilling. As the camera pans around the gravestones, you can see some kind of humanoid creature hiding in the cemetery. The figure is grey and gaunt looking with an oversized skull. It seems to cautiously observe the camera, then disappeared just seconds later. This piece of striking footage was allegedly filmed in 1987 in a secret military base. A Mexican officer claimed he obtained this footage from an undisclosed US military base. According to the informant, Mexico abides by what's known as an information exchange protocol, which means neighbouring governments can exchange secret information regarding space travel, alien technologies, and the existence of otherworldly beings. This footage purports to be a medical examination of an extraterrestrial creature. In a facility known only as G13, they test the alien's reflexes, sensitivity to light, its cognitive and auditory capabilities. Whether it's a hoax or not, it's still a remarkable piece of footage that continues to stir debate amongst the paranormal community. The owner of this house kept noticing his security light coming on sporadically during the night. He installed a camera on his back porch to find out what was tripping the sensor. What the camera spotted is truly chilling. You can see a humanoid figure peering out alongside the fence. It has eerie black eyes with a striking facial structure. What do you think this security camera has captured? Let us know in the comments section below. This footage was captured sometime in 2016 by a gas station security camera in Peru. At the rear of the pumps, we can see a figure stalking in the bushes. It looks small and silver and almost robotic in the way it moves. Initially, it could be anything, a curious animal, a piece of rubbish drifting in the wind, but things get interesting when a customer notices the object in the distance. He becomes more and more interested in whatever it is and starts to move towards it. The object or creature seems to react to the man's presence, pauses for a moment, then drifts eerily through the air. Before long, several more curious onlookers chase the creature into the bush. We'd love to get your opinion on this one. What do you think it is? Leave a comment down below. This footage was captured in an unknown part of Australia. While sitting at the dinner table, this young boy notices something moving in the grasslands behind his house. He quickly grabs a camera and begins filming. What he spots lurking in the tall grass is unsettling to say the least. Inside the thick brush, there appears to be an alien-like animal staring back at the camera. It has big glossy eyes and a dome-shaped head. Unfortunately, the creature vanishes into the dark of the night before being identified. This video was taken in July 2015 in Nuevo Laredo in the Mexican state of Tamaulipas. After hearing some strange noises on his roof, this man grabbed his camera to investigate. At first, he's confused and looks towards the bushes at the rear of his property. Then he hears something crawling across his tin roof. In plain sight is a slender creature with long arms and legs, an elongated neck and small head. It pauses for a second, then leaps over the roof.